Hello, I am Panos Kotzathanasis, and this is ASEAN Movie Pulse Interviews. Today I'm here with Yoichi Utebi, a producer of Before the Sunset, Japanese film which will now be released in the US by HS Productions. How are you, Yoichi?
Okay, thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me a bit about the movie. Tell me a bit about your involvement in it, let's say.
Okay. Sure. So let me kind of explain to you in very short synopsis of this movie. So the main character's name is Kazunori. He is 80 years old man, okay, 80 years old. And he was known as a god of management in Japan. He established his own enterprise and he was so respected from the society. But after he retired, he just became all alone in nursing home. Nobody visited him, not even his family, because he was lacking love, in his life. But there's only one girl, university student, volunteer girl, and her name was Asuka. So these two are the main characters. She was the only one who visited him. Okay. So one day they were taking a walk, and Asuka said, Kazunori, you are such a great person, and I feel sorry for you, And she asked God, can you grant Kazunori just one wish, right? So Kazunori wishes, if I was only 20 years again. And suddenly things, changes, and he finds himself in a university or campus of a university as a soccer player, and he was 20 years old. So there's different type of stories like that, right? It's like a parallel world shifting into. So his mind is 80 years old, but his body is 20 years old, a young man, and he finds Asuka there. Of course, Asuka doesn't know he's the 80 years old Kazunori. So that's how the story starts. The interesting point about this movie is that he received this message from God. Okay, says there's few conditions which I cannot reveal to you everything because it just becomes too much spoiler. But one of the important condition was you have to live your life with unconditional love. What is unconditional? We can talk about that later. But so that's the message he received. So there on, he realizes, he has another chance to live his life. All the regret he had in his 80 years of life. So he starts living his life, being heavily involved with Asuka. And he becomes a great actor, another top-notch actor in Japan. And he finds himself in a successful ladder. So the story will, share with us what is importance in love and life, and what does it mean to live as unconditional love, and what's the end, how it's going to turn out to be for Kazunori in his new life. So that's a very short synopsis of the story.
Okay. Well, since you mentioned the term, tell me what unconditional love means for you.
Yeah, so unconditional love is a love that is unconditional. So it's love of giving. This is like a basic of love. Like Jesus taught us 2,000 years ago, right? Buddha taught us 2,500 years ago, and Muhammad taught us 500 years ago. Regardless of any religion or philosophy or anything, love means to give, not to take from others, right? So love is something that you want to give to others, you want to help people out, but don't expect anything in return. We tend to want to, I give you this much, so what's the return for me? What do I get? That's how, we tend to think like that. But unconditional love is the true love, where you just give it out and don't expect anything in return. So Kazunori was, actually ordered from God, live your life with true love. So he tries.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I felt that the story is also about grief a bit, like correcting the mistakes of the past.
That's right.
What do you think about this concept?
That's right. So that's the second very important concept, is to find what is love. Another one is to, this movie will give anybody, it doesn't matter how old you are, give you hope to live a life, because we kind of have a older we get, more regret, more sadness, more hardships that we go through, or the mistakes that you make. If you just think about it, there's so many regrets we have. Also, we have illness, right? And the most scary thing in our life is called death. But we have a lot of worries and regrets in life. But by watching this movie together with Kazunori, what Kazunori does is that Kazunori would the 20 years old Kazunori will reflect back to his 80 years of his life. So there's one scene where he was in, very conflict. He has 3 children, daughter and 2 sons, but each of them, they have different types of conflict, and they all leave him. Even his wife, first wife dies because of the stress, and second wife he get married, he get divorced, right? So he has a miserable family situation, family relationship. So every time something happens, he'll just kind of reflect back, and the scene goes back to the old Kazunori scene where they fight each other, things like that. And he remembers, oh my God, this is something I've done wrong. I was lacking love for my family. Then he'll realize it, and he start to do something different, according to what he learned from his past. In his 20 years old, young, after 20 years young himself. So it kind of gives us like, yes, I've done something wrong in this and this and that. So, it's never, in other words, our message is like, it's never too late, because we can always reflect on our lives that we've done. We cannot collect what we have done in action in our life. We just can't do it, because we wish we would have a time machine, get on a time machine and go back like when I was 25 or 30 and just whisper to myself, Yoichi, don't do that, right? Because you're gonna go this way, you gotta choose this. There's so many things, like points where I just made this very wrong decision, maybe, or the things that you said to somebody that hurt the relationship for the past, rest of your life, something like that. But we can't do that, but we can always go back to ourselves, into our inner child. We all are still living together with our past self. So we can go back to our past selves and kind of talk to ourselves and try to, forgive them, forgive myself, maybe ask for forgiveness from God, heaven, universe, and try to correct our thought. This is how we can start to live our life, even though how old you are doesn't really matter. So that's a deeper message we want to convey. We don't really actually say it because it's an art film, but this is the kind of thing that we want to convey. But there's a lot of regret, but there's also hope in your life too. Yeah,
I feel that this topic it's quite prevalent in Japanese cinema, of an accusation towards the previous generation about how they treated their children. Do you feel it also? How is it for you, let's say?
Yeah, I mean, I'm already over 50, so I have children too, and yes, there are moments where I personally think I want to go back and fix the things I've done. Of course, I'm sure I think it's not just about Japanese audience, but globally, I think it's just a universal topic. If you see the movie, you understand. It's a universal topic. Japan is a little more subtle in a way. Sometimes, like US and other countries, it might be more aggressive. Human nature can get very aggressive, So hopefully, it will give people a chance to really think about their lives too. Definitely, yes.
And can you give us some more information about how the story was developed?
Sure. So the story was originally written by executive producer and original story writer, Master Ryuho Okawa. He is the founder of a spiritual movement. It's one of the biggest spiritual movement in Japan. Everybody knows about it in Japan. It's called Happy Science. And he's the founder of Happy Science. Anyway, besides that, he's been reading a lot of books and he's done a lot of movies. This is his 27th movie, actually. So he writes a lot of stories. So, this is one of his story, actually his latest story. So he wrote like the original story. There's like a very few pages of a story. So, we as the producers will sit together and start rewriting, actually adding more contents to the story. So become like a movie or a drama, 2 hours drama. And so original story is coming from Ryuho Okawa. Okay, so and his wish was to make this movie story something like an art film, something that when after we leave the cinema or after you watch the movie, wherever you are, leave something in your heart, makes you think about your life, about love, not just say, oh, wow, this is a great film, but to feel something in your heart. So I guess we call it leave a poetic afterglow or poetic after feeling, that's the kind of a movie that people remember, for years sometimes. So that was his wish. He wanted to make this movie something that leaves something for everybody. So that's the hardest thing, it's to do it, because it's something that is not can really see it, but something that you have to feel. So we tried to recreate or create that kind of sense throughout these 2 hours of the movie. And I think we were able to do it pretty successfully, because he said he was, he liked the outcome. So yeah.
Again, the protagonist of the film in his first life was a very successful businessman, and then he kind of becomes a successful actor. So my question is, do you think that some people are destined for success no matter what they do?
Well, even though he was successful in his career, he was never successful with none of his relationship, right? His families and all the colleagues and all the friends he had from the company. I mean, he was one of the top executive of Japan. Everybody knows him, but nobody cares about him. So he in his real life, nobody really cared about him. That shows you, after everything is gone, all the relationship he had that has something to do with money or something, different types of, this three-dimensional materialism type of relationship. That's when, if it's done and nobody comes to you anymore, that means they don't like you to begin with. So, I mean, was it successful for him? I don't think it is. That's the point we want to come across. But of course, especially the 20 years old young Kazunori, he's done 80 years of success in his as a society. Of course, he's going to be successful in his going up forward. So the reason why became him an actor is because Asuka's father happened to be the director of the company, cinema company. And one day he visited the theater company, and Shintaro, of course he's a director. He sees Kazunori and he sees something in him. There's something different in Kazunori. So he told him right on the spot, "You want try acting this Shakespeare line." He was like, "I've never acted before in my life. Oh my God, I don't know." But he's a perfectionist. So he studied Shakespeare line right on the spot and he acted on the spot. And Shintaro was just so moved with what he's done. Of course, because in his mind, he's 80 years old man. So even though he's 20, he's got 80 years of experience starting an actor with so much experience in his life. Of course, he's going to become a great actor. And that's how he succeeded. So his challenge was to be successful as a human being, as a human relationship, and as a human, I guess, not just the success, the worldly success. So that's the biggest point I would like everybody to see through. And I hope people who are successful now or want to become young generation who wants to become successful, to think about what is true success. There's two things that has to come together to create a true success in our life. And the most important thing is about love and relationship and about faith, more than material success. Of course, we would like to have both to create a better success, but that's the kind of point we want to portray through this movie. Definitely, yes.
But do you think that someone can reach the top of such a competitive film, let's say the business world, and also retain a balance with his family and social relationships? Because I think it's almost impossible probably today.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
There are people who are out there. I think that the true successful people, like the real successful people, I think are able to do that. I hope so. I hope so.
Okay. And can you tell me a bit about the casting of the film? How did that work?
Sure. So, of course, producers and a director's name is Hiroshi Akabane. He's pretty famous in Japan. He's done a lot of TV production, and he's done past maybe maybe even more than that, maybe 3 or 4 movies of Masahiro Oka's original story written in the past few years, maybe past 5 or 6 years he's done. So, we are very good tie with Hiroshi Akabane. So we asked him to do this project as well. He's a very established director and producer in Japan. So him and producer will sit together, get all the, of course, we do auditions, right? And we select one by one. So the few the older Kazunori, right, is very Tsukayama, Masane Tsukayama. He's 80 years old right now. I think he's again very established. He's still acting even though he's 80 actor. So he's established. The younger actor Hiroaki Tanaka is very young, so he's not known well. And also like the Miura Rikako is the acting for the Asuka, the young girl. Again, she's not really famous, but her father, Shuzo Uesugi, is very famous. So we mixed it. So the great actors, will true experiences with the younger generation. So for one younger generation actors, when we have a great actors around them, they can really support them and create like even better vibration and better atmosphere of a movie. And like Miura Rikako is Asuka. So Akabane-san, Hiroshi Akabane, director, he insisted, we have to go with the Rikako Miura because she is so innocent and pure and she's perfectly fit. But other producers like, I don't know, this other actress might be better than that, but he insisted, he wanted her so strongly. So we went with Rikako Miura, and I think it was a success. She has a very pure-hearted kind of a innocent way of acting, and it kind of very well with Hiroaki Tanaka. Her is a younger Kazunori, 20 years old. So I think casting was very well done. And total production value was maintained in a good way, I think.
And tell me a bit about this international release in the US. How does that came to be?
Sure. So we've been doing a lot of US release. I think this one actually it is smaller. We've done like 25, but maximum we do like 25. Usually we do like 10. East Coast and West Coast and things like that. And we use usually AMC and Legal and Cinemark, we mix it. We have a company called Freestyle Entertainment. It's a huge distribution company, and in US, so we do really well with them. So we was ask them, so they'll find us a good, like perfect location for this movie to be placed. So just a regular theatrical run. So if you do good, we'll continue on for second, third, and weeks, and so on. Japan is a huge, over 250 theaters nationwide, and it's a major release in Japan. So we've done a lot of Taiwan release. We still figuring out if you can do this Taiwan release as well. So international theatrical release it's a challenge. In other words, it's difficult to get the plus revenue out of a 1 week theatrical release. So, but we do make a lot of revenue in Japan release. So it's just extra approach, a new challenge for us to spread this message to the world. So US is one of the pilot, I guess, the market is the best market to do it. So that's why we've been doing US constantly. Of course, we do VODs. We do a voiceover, and we just finishing voiceover now. So we're gonna be releasing VOD, DVDs as well. But globally, we do VOD release using Amazon and iTunes, of course. Yeah, things like that. So, yep.
In general, what would you say is the penetration of Japanese cinema in the US? Would you say there is an appeal in the US market for Japanese films nowadays?
I have to be very honest. It's very, very small. Okay, it's very small. Especially US audience tend to like to watch a Hollywood type of movies. It's a tendency, right? Maybe European audience have a tendency to accept more of our art film because French, Italy, all these are basically it's art film to begin with, right? So people are more acceptable, I think. For US, there is a certain group of people who are into this kind of art film or foreign film. you know, a lot of Korean movies are doing great. Like Korean movies, Korean dramas, and like Netflix. I watch all the Korean dramas, and it's so good. They just makes you get involved, and they're great. So people are getting used to watching, I guess Asian, Asian type of Asian main cast of film or drama of a movie compared to maybe 10 years ago or even more. So people are becoming much more open-minded to watching a movie or even Indian movie, right? Indian movie is actually it's popular in US too, especially on Netflix. Not maybe too much in cinema. So VODs probably do better than theatrical release because we have to bring people in to sit in to watch a 2 hours Japanese movie with subtitle. That's a big challenge, especially with no budget or promotion. It's a challenge. So we do our best. We do tie up with the Cinemark and AMC, and they help us out with all the social media. We are doing right now a campaign to draw the crowd in the same specific radiant of the cinemas that we release. So they help us out. We do our promotion on our own. We also do like a invitation ticket promotion on our own as well, and try to bring the crowd as well, and to at least to get to the second week. We if we do the first weekend AMC would say, okay, it will give you another chance for another week. So we always try to get for the second week. And like in Los Angeles or Orange County, we always get like third week into 3 weeks. That shows we are doing okay, I think, in the for them, and it's making some profit. If they realize they're not making any profit, they'll just stop it right away. So it's always a challenge, but it's a challenge. It's a good challenge that I've been giving, because again, it's extra mileage for our movies to go forward into international development. So that's a good thing for us. I think we have that little bit of buffer of a challenging outside of Japan. So, but be honest, it's challenging. It's definitely a challenge. Yeah.
And in your opinion, okay, I guess we're going to hypothesize here, but what do you think the US audience would like from this movie? What would take away from this movie?
I think compared to we've done different like 3 or 4 releases in US so far in the past, including animation. I think I would say this is the best so far. I mean, this will be the best because it's very well, it's done very naturally. In other words, we want to convey the importance of love and importance of reflecting your life. It's kind of a very I don't know, high standard topic to think about it for the movie. They want to just sit down and drink Coke and popcorn and enjoy it. For the most audience, this is something that like want to teach you something. You know what I mean? But we don't want to be like, this is the message we want. We want to bring it out from the bottom where they feel like, wow, this was a really, oh my God, this was a good movie. I felt it. That's the kind of feeling this movie has. So I think anybody would probably enjoy as long as they can stick to, or they are used to, or they're able to listen to the Japanese original and watch the subtitle. Okay, that's the one hurdle we have in the US is for the audience to sit and watch through 2 hours of out drama with subtitle. Okay, and we do have voiceover too, but we tried to this one with original voice because we thought because it's an art film, it's probably better. We've done voiceover theatrical release in the past as well, and that was also successful. But it's another challenge for us. So we always do the interviews right after, even it's like in the AMC, we just go out there and speak to the people. So I'm looking forward to the voices, what people are going to say, but I think they'll love it as long as they can stick to this environment of Japanese and subtitle. Definitely, yes.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate for your time.
Okay. Good luck with the release. The movie is opening September 29 at select AMC Theatres. So
yes.
Hope everything goes well.
Legal. Yes, definitely, yes.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you very much again.
Thank you so much. Okay.
See you later. Bye.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.